There were several developments yesterday regarding the Cowboys and linebacker Micah Parsons. Let me start there. Because after the show, I finally reached the point where there was enough steam on this whole Packers trying to trade for Micah Parsons angle on social media that I decided to put, the hat with the little card that said press in it. I decided to put that hat on and start to gather some information. In the process of doing that, I was reminded of something I had heard during the Hall of Fame week when we were in Canton, and I did some research on it, and I wasn't able to get the kind of clarity that I wanted as to the numbers, so I forgot about it. I was reminded yesterday, and have confirmed, that there's a separate fight between Micah Parsons and the Cowboys / the NFL over what he's going to get paid this year. Everywhere you look, Micah Parsons is due to make $24 million this year, and I've been saying $24 million anytime it comes up. Officially, as far as the NFL is concerned, Micah Parsons is making $21.324 million. Now, at first blush, hey, it's a lot of money either way. Yeah, but you know what? The difference is more than $2.6 million. So, what happened? Well, for the purposes of the fifth-year option, the Cowboys designated him as a defensive end. Micah Parsons believes he's a linebacker. It all comes down under the CBA to the position at which he participated in the most plays in his third NFL season, which would have been 2023. The problem is with a linebacker or defensive end, you got some edge rusher components. Does that count as a linebacker? Is that a defensive end? I think you can get twisted up very quickly when you're looking at the film trying to decide when he's a linebacker, when he's a defensive end. A grievance is pending, and the grievance wasn't filed all that long ago. I don't know when the grievance is going to be resolved. And I think the mere filing of the grievance probably puts him on the books for 24. And then if the Cowboys win, they'll get salary cap rebate. I'd like to think this gets resolved by week 1. It makes sense, but we're a week away from week 1, as we know. The reality is, and if you go back and look, he was a linebacker as far as anyone was concerned until fairly recently. Pete, using the Wayback Machine on the internet, found that the Cowboys consistently were calling him a linebacker and that something happened between March 15 and March 29 of this year when he went from linebacker to defensive end. Now, I know that people think defensive ends make more, and I think under the franchise tag, it may be better to be a defensive end, but for the purposes of the fifth-year option, it was better for Micah to be a linebacker. It was better for the Cowboys for him to be a defensive end. $2.6 million plus better, which is in and of itself a boatload of money. So that's pending. On top of all the other stuff that's going on between the Cowboys and Micah Parsons, there's a fight that traces to the Cowboys playing a game to save some money. And if you've already got tension in the relationship and you look at this and you say, hang on a second. Hang on, Jerry. You drafted me. You were able to pay me what the CBA requires. I had no ability to negotiate anything. I came in and I played well. I wasn't a bust. I wasn't one of those guys that the NFL was worried about so much that they changed the whole system of paying the rookies to hold all of them down in the hopes of not giving a bunch of money to some of them. I've earned the money I never got. And now, when I get to the fifth-year option that I have no ability to negotiate away, I checked the CBA yesterday. The team cannot waive it. There's nothing the player can do. The player can't say, I'll sign and I'll show up if you waive the right to use the fifth-year option. Can't do it. So I'm going to make $24 million, which is already $17 million below the top of the market, and now you're going to try to make me make less? Because you're playing a game with the position I play, and you know damn well I'm not a defensive end, I'm a linebacker, but you're choosing the path of least financial resistance? That just adds to whatever frustration Micah Parsons may be feeling. And we're almost 4 weeks to the day from when he asked to be traded. And have we seen anything to suggest that he's rescinded it? Now, I personally believe that in the aftermath of Jerry Jones saying one day following Micah Parsons asking to be traded, it's just a negotiating tactic, just like his hurt back. More on that in a second. It's all negotiating. Kind of would have liked Micah to come out and say, it's not. It's not. But I get the feeling privately the message is, it's not. We're not negotiating. We're asking to be traded. If the Cowboys would show up with exactly everything he wants, he may feel differently. That could change. For now, his position that he wants to be traded is still his official position. The reality, as we're 1 week away from the start of the season, and the other hold-ins have all ended because you have to get the player properly acclimated to play in week one. I mean, at some point, it's going to be too late for Micah Parsons to be ready to play in week one. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.